Hello, friends, and welcome to Leadership Happy Hour. Again, my name is Chip Lutz, the unconventional leader, and with me today is my very good friend, Rob Bell, CSP. That stands for Certified Speaking Professional. I've known Rob 5 or 6 years, maybe a little bit longer. Rob, quite frankly, is one of my favorite speakers to listen to. I could listen to him pretty much anytime. It's hard to keep my attention for a full hour, but Rob has me from start to finish. He has me, and he's a customer service expert. He helps people, give people the wow factor in customer service. I follow Rob a lot of times when I go speak, and they always tell me, "You're no Rob Bell." So,
yeah, right.
So, cheers to you, my friend. Welcome to Leadership Happy Hour.
You too. Dr. McGillicuddy's menthol mint schnapps. The doctor always makes you feel better. By the end of the show, I'll be on the floor.
Well, if you can tell everybody a little bit about yourself, Rob, where you come from, where you hail from, how you got into what you do.
All right. I'm from Dodgeville, Wisconsin, home of Land's End and Governor Dodge State Park. I like to tell my audiences when I was in high school, I was really, really, really shy. And I think that's why I love what I do so much. In fact, if you added up all the signatures in all of my high school yearbooks, they totaled one. Thank goodness for Steve Martell. I had one friend. And so I know what it's like to not feel good about yourself. And my whole goal is to help people feel good about themselves. I started working in the supermarket business when I was 17 years old, and it helped me come out of my shell. I was so shy until my band director, a great leader who cared about his students so much, he got me a job down at Dick's Supermarket. And I came out of my shell. I realized, you know what? I'm no worse than anybody. I'm no better than anybody, but I'm no worse than anybody. And I fell in love with service. And I also realized there's no percentages in being a jerk. I realized early on that some people, this arrogance and this stupidity of being a jerk. And I'm thinking, why not be nice all the time? Can't we just get along? And so I kept working at Dick's Supermarkets. And long story, I ended up being their education and training director for 9 years. That's how I became a professional speaker. That was kind of my on-ramp. And I'll tell you something, Chip, real quick. When I was 25 years old, I was the assistant manager of one of the Dick's Supermarkets, and I took a carload of cashiers to La Crosse, Wisconsin, to my first customer service seminar. It was put on by a guy named Larry Bousseau. I have no idea where that guy is now, but he blew me out of the water. I'd never seen anything like that. And I remember thinking, I want to do that. And now I do. So, Larry, wherever you're at, buddy, I owe you, because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if you hadn't done so good.
Have you ever Googled his name to find out?
I have. I can't find him. No, I can't find him. I'd love to let him know how he changed my life and how much I love what I do. And like I said, I don't just, I love teaching service, but even more importantly, my whole goal is to help people feel good about themselves. Because there are people who don't feel good about themselves. And, hopefully we plant those seeds, right, Chip?
Well, I always feel good about myself. I am so good, in fact, that sometimes, it's hard to get away from the mirror without leaving lip prints on it.
It's a little weird. So, is there such a thing as sharing too much?
My wife goes in the bathroom after me, and she's just like, "Were you in here again?" Because she can see the lip prints on the mirror.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you are kind of cute.
Well, if you're not in your corner, who's going to be?
Exactly. No, and that's I didn't used to be in my corner when I was a kid, and kids can be pretty mean, can't they? They can be really mean, and I didn't know how to stick up for myself. So that's why I do what I do now. I'm always hoping that I'm planting seeds, helping somebody. You do too. We just want to plant that seed and help somebody go, oh, that's a good point. I never looked at it that way.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I grew up a short, fat kid, so I learned how to be my own best friend, growing up, and be my own cheerleader. And I guess in some ways that's what I try to help, leaders do is, be their own cheerleader, but be a cheerleader for those people, the disenfranchised people sometimes. So now you do a lot of work on customer service, and I know that you've got a lot of programs. And tonight we look at, I'm a firm believer that we should look at the people that we lead as kind of our customers. It gives us a different mindset on, how we serve them. Leadership's all about service, and we should look at how we serve those people, in my opinion. So in your programs, when you go out and talk to people about customer service, I mean, what are some of the core things that you think that, just in basic customer service, not even looking at leadership, just basic customer service, what should people be doing?
Well, I remind people all the time, absolutely everything counts. This is showbiz, baby. The curtain's up and everything counts. And I don't want you to be insincere or inauthentic. However, it's important that we take responsibility for our performance, how we walk. Are we making eye contact? Are we smiling? When we're professionals, we don't have the right to be in a lousy mood. And if you're getting a paycheck, you're a professional. So I'm not gonna give you like, how's it going? I've had better days. How's it going? I'll be done in about 47 minutes. I don't want to deal with somebody like that. So maybe I'm not having a great day, but you're not going to know it. You are not going to know it. So I want to focus on having fun. I want to make it an exciting experience for the guest. I also, like I said, authenticity. I like to say to my audiences sometimes, have you ever been around somebody who's a little bit over the top? We all have. There is a lady who manages a convenience store near where I live, and she drives me nuts. She tries to be nice, but she's just so darn over the top. You walk in, she goes, "Hi, It's like, shut up, back up on the sugar. You're freaking me out." We don't want to scare people. We want to be, you've been around. Oh, geez, lady, shut up.
It's funny. Everybody hates the happy person. So,
yeah. Don't be too.
Don't happy, freak them out. Don't be too happy.
Well, yeah. Well, I think you have to be able to read that other person's body language. You have to have empathy yourself. In fact, I remember years ago, I was running the express lane at Dick's Supermarket. It was a really busy day. I served this gentleman, and I said to him, "Thanks very much. You have a great day." And he yells at me at the top of his lungs, "Don't you tell me what kind of a day to have." And I said, I apologize. Oh, yeah, he did. And the whole front end just shuts down. He scared me. And I said, "I didn't mean to offend you, sir." He grabs his bag. He storms out of the store. And the next person in line leans over the counter and says, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I am." Now, what I realized was I was probably like that person in the convenience store. Maybe I was a little bit over the top, and so I needed to dial it back a little bit. I think he didn't need me. I don't know if what did he do, get in a fight with his wife, or his son got in trouble, or who knows what's going on in his life, but he didn't need me telling me, "You have a great day, shut up." He didn't need it. And yeah, so that really happened.
That's a good thing to think about as far as looking at as our followers, as customers, is that if we're grabbing that paycheck, we're in charge, emotions are contagious. We should be setting the pace. If I'm having a bad day, I don't want to affect everybody else with that.
Exactly.
Just, what do I need to do to gird my loins and put on that happy face?
Well, the other thing is, if you can leave that bad experience, those thoughts in your car and go to work, and if you can really focus on the moment and focus away from yourself and on other folks, a lot of times what was driving you nuts at 7 a.m, by the time you punch out at 5, it wasn't so bad. You get a different perspective. It's like, geez, what was I so wound up about? And so a lot of times if you can do that, you might end up in a better place. Now, I know it's not easy. It isn't easy.
No.
But I'm a pro. You're a pro. And think about it as professional speakers. What if we were introduced and we get up there and go, folks, I am really not in a good mood. I don't feel like this. Let's just get it done. Probably get done in a half hour. Where's that paycheck? Yeah.
That would be oh my gosh, that would be hilarious. You just get up there, it's like, I'm not having a good day. My wife, she was yelling at me this morning. It was really bad. My kids flunking out of school. My dog pooped on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody here have a day like that? Well, good.
They're good. All right.
This is going to suck today.
I'm out of here.
I don't want to be here. I just don't feel like it. So, and I know you do a lot of work in leadership, and I do some work in leadership. And realistically, whether we mean to or not, we all lead by example.
Right.
And I remember as a high school kid in the supermarket business, nothing against the people I worked with, but I noticed a lot of people who worked there, they just did the bare minimum. And I realized early on, well, I can work harder than these folks. and I'll bet more opportunities. And it wasn't hard because a lot of people just are there, punch in. I'm going to just goof off and I'm going to work. And I ended up bagging groceries for a long time, and it worked out really well for me. And I wouldn't be doing the professional speaking without my years in the supermarket.
No, I started off in the grocery store as well. I mean, actually, I always thought that that was the one thing that I did better than anything else was bag groceries. Kind of like, Tom Cruise in Cocktail, tossing them up. And I started off when they first brought plastic bags into the grocery stores. And we actually had supervised training on how to properly pack a plastic bag so it wouldn't fold and people's bread wouldn't get crushed and stuff. Anyway.
Oh, that's an art.
It is. To this day, I can still, like, when they pack my bags, I always cringe. And I'm like, let me show you how to square the corners on that so it stays up and that everything stays in here. And they
get that nice tight base.
The young pimply-faced kid looks at me like, what are you talking about, mister?
Well, that's what's unfortunate. It seems like an awful lot of places don't worry about the training anymore, and these people don't know what they're doing as they're bagging. And as someone who knows, you want to say, "Hey, give me," or they use three times as many bags as they need to because nobody taught them how to bag.
Right.
So it's the little things, and that's what's important. I'm sure you're the same way. I like to tell my audiences I only work with fantastic organizations. And it's not because I'm great. It's because average and below average organizations will not invest in these type of experiences for their team. They don't care. They can't afford it. And then they wonder why things aren't going well. So I'm sure it's the same with you. Well, I know you do a lot of work in the military, how important that is. And by the way, thank you sincerely from the heart for your service. And what you do for those folks is amazingly important. You only work with great groups. I have sometimes people will say, Rob, this company over here, they really need you. And I think, well, they probably don't want me. If you really need my services, you probably have no interest in bringing me in because you don't care, right? You got to care.
True. So
these little things.
It's funny you said because it's very, very true. I'm still thinking about walking on stage and sharing my crappy day with people. It's hilarious. So yeah, I like, your thought professionalism being the first thing, not letting your attitude dictate your own performance because it's going to affect the whole experience for everybody else. What's something else that you share from a customer service perspective on making sure that the experience is what it should be?
Well, I'm not sure what you're getting at, Chip, but are you talking about the opportunity walk I do, or
no? Basic tenets of this is the way to give a wow experience. I mean, the professionalism factor. What are some other things to give people a wow experience?
Well, I break it down into here's some I have fun with my audiences. And by the way, listening master, thanks for your nice notes. I'm sure you're seeing
that's
them.
My buddy. That's my buddy Sporty King. That's
all right. Appreciate you being there. I just have fun, and we got to have fun with our audiences. Like I say, there's nothing wrong with the F word. Got to have fun. If you're not having fun, I can tell it. Some people shouldn't be in the service business. Doesn't mean they're bad people. My dad, great guy. My dad was a cowboy. He'd rather shoot you than serve you. Really, I'm lucky to have gotten out alive. My dad was a great guy, but he liked sorting cattle. I hated sorting cattle. I learned I love serving people, and people can feel if you love it. So I like to have fun with my audiences early on. I like to say, I'm going to teach you the international symbol for wow. Take 3 fingers, hold them up, 3 fingers, hold them up. Makes your cheeks say wow. Let's see, you forgot to laugh. And then, okay, breaking it down. Body language. So we have some fun with body language. Are you walking with that bounce in your step, a sparkle in your eye? You have that smile going. I always like to say, get an eye, give them a high. Fight hard for that eye contact. However, authenticity requires that you get the eye contact. You don't want to scare somebody.
Hold on a minute. I like that. Give them an eye, give them a high. I mean,
get an eye, give them a high.
What's that?
Get an eye, give them a high.
I like that. That gives that connection factor that, we've all worked for that guy that, or that lady woman that comes in and makes no eye contact, makes a beeline for their office, shuts the door, doesn't talk to anybody, the other day. And I like that. It rhymes, which makes it easy for me to remember.
It sticks.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great thing for leaders to keep in mind as far as give them an eye, give them a high. I like that.
And then if you're in a leadership role, you better remember that you're being watched. And so if we teach, give them an eye, get an eye, give them a high, you better not walk by a guest, a customer, a resident, whatever, and you don't say hi to them. You don't even try. But I think it's important to get an eye because some people, well, again, I worked in the supermarket. We had a floral shop. Sometimes people were there buying flowers for a funeral. Their mom just passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you need to read them, and they're looking down, and they don't need me saying, hey, good to see you. So you have to be able to read them. So the fine line is get an eye, give them a hi, but you can't allow people to use that as an excuse. Well, you didn't look at me. Well, did you try to?
Mm-hmm.
So get an eye, give them a hi. So body language, the words you choose. We always said in the supermarket business, our success comes in cans, not cannots. So tell what I can do. Can't do it.
Just stop for a second. They come in cans. I love that. LOVE. Love that.
Yeah.
That is
it's a little thing.
You big cheers on that one.
All right, buddy. Tell me what you can do. Instead, against our policy, I'm going to tell you why. If there's a standard in place, I'm going to tell you why it's there. It's for your safety. It's for your confidentiality. Now, let me tell you what I can do. It's important we fill out this form, but I'm more than happy to help you with it. Come on, we're going to make it easy. I'm here for you. We're going to get you through it. So tell me what you can do. So all these words and slow down a little bit. Don't, on the phone, have you ever called a place of business and had the person who answers the phone sound like they're trying out for speed speaking? I have no idea what he said, but boy, that was fast. Slow down. When you're talking to people, slow down. Make sure that you're not using your jargon. I do a lot of work in healthcare, and sometimes they use all these big words and stuff. Don't do that. Explain to me what's going on. So the words we choose, then I know, of course, listening. Listening is so important. I want to serve people as if they have MMFI tattooed on their forehead. Make me feel important. Make me feel important. I'm here for you.
I was concentrating on the two middle letters, MF, and I was like,
yeah, I know. I saw your mind go there real quick.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
It wasn't quite in that venue. But, and if you choose to be in the moment and choose to really listen and don't jump to conclusions. Oh, I know what you need. No, maybe I don't. Really, really listen to them. And it's amazing how when you treat people with that respect and appreciation, they want to do business with you. Jeffrey Gitomer, you know of Jeffrey. He wrote a great book called Satisfaction. Let's see, Satisfaction is Worthless. Loyalty is Priceless. And I love this statement from that book. All things being equal, people want to do business with friends. All things being not quite equal, people still want to do business with friends. So it's really about building relationships. It's earning trust. It's being there for people. Pretty soon, whether you're in a supermarket or a hospital or a restaurant or radio station, people want to do business with you.
Yeah.
I trust that.
I was just having that conversation with somebody earlier today. We were talking about, some of the basic tenets of leadership, and that it's all relational. It's all about relationships. That's it. Totally. Is that, when I think about things in the Navy, like you join the military for God and country, but you don't fight and die for God and country. You fight and die for the people that are next to you and the relationships you have with other people. I mean, the same thing goes with leaders, is that you don't always have to be liked, but there is a likability factor that you need to have for people to want to follow you. Whether it's you're likable because they respect your moral code or your sense of humor or the fact that you do what you say you're going to do. Is that inherent to leaders, you got to figure what that is and show that to your people and serve them in that way. That
exactly.
It's really all about that relationship that you have with the people around you.
Yeah.
And I like that you want to keep people coming back for more. Think about leadership and retention. I mean, just like you want your customers to come back for more, you want your people to stay with you. You're investing this time and effort. Hey, why you got to serve them like you're talking about, with the right attitude, the right walk, the right body language, really listening to, make sure they stay if you want them to stay. Sporty had
I hate it when
he commented on here.
I hate
respect. What? Sporty coming out here, respect and protect. It's a domino effect. I absolutely agree.
Oh, nice one. Beautiful. Respect and protect. I use the case method. I copy and steal everything. Respect and protect.
I call that the Xerox method.
That's outstanding. Do you? How do you say it?
Xerox.
Or do you say?
I'm just copying it.
Oh, okay.
There's
thanks, Sporty.
There's no double entendre on that.
No. I like it though. It reminds me of a line I like a lot. I hate it when people quit and leave, don't you? It's worse when they quit and stay. How's that job? It's a paycheck. How's that job? I love it. The people I work with are fantastic. I hear some people in leadership roles say, I'd rather be respected than liked.
Mm-hmm.
What if you're both? What if people actually respect you? I'm not saying be a pushover. If you're my supervisor, my boss, and you're a pushover, I don't respect you. Come on. Yeah. Let's have some standards. We all do our best work with winners, don't we, Chip? So set the standards, hold me accountable, explain why these standards are in place. In fact, the more we can include our people, you want empowerment and engagement, include your team members as you define what I like to call your non-negotiables. These are non-negotiables. This is why it's important, and we are all going to be held to this standard, myself too. And if I'm not fulfilling it, then I want you to let me know about it. Help me out, because sometimes it's impossible to be 100% objective about our own performance. Don't you think? It just is.
Oh, no, absolutely. Like, I always think that I'm awesome. It didn't make a difference. Well, so it's impossible for me to be objective about that because, like I said, I look in the mirror, I leave lip prints on the mirror. I mean, I think I'm pretty awesome. So there's not much.
Is Gwen with you on that? Is Gwen with you on that? She must. I mean, you haven't been married that long, so she probably still thinks you're kind of awesome.
There are days that I'm awesome. You know how it is. It's an ebb and flow.
I'll
put it like this.
Definitely.
I think I'm much funnier than she thinks I am. So I'll say something. I
can't keep up with you.
She'll say, that's not funny. I'm like, oh no, that's hilarious. That's a material right there. And she's like, no, it's not. I'm like, it's not easy living in here. It's not easy.
You are quick. I can't keep up with you. That's for sure. So yeah, let's see. We talked about listening. Empathy is so important. I use this. You've heard of the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Mm-hmm. Been around forever. When it comes to remarkable service, we need to take it up a level to the platinum rule. And the platinum rule says treat people the way they want to be treated. The golden rule assumes you want to be treated the same way I want to be treated. And sometimes that's not a very good assumption. So I want to focus on you. How do you want to be served? Some people want to be served fast. Some people want to be served really high quality. Some people want it inexpensive. Just get me in, get me out. Some people want a relationship. So it's really about focusing on that person and also allowing your team members to invest the time. I was at the Apple store in Madison recently, and I wasn't going to buy anything. I just was in talking to this young man, and we were talking about all the new technology and the Apple Watches. And I said to him, well, geez, I don't mean to be taking up all your time. You probably want to deal with somebody who is going to buy something. He goes, no, my job is to build relationships. I mean, they're not under the pressure. He was doing his job.
Yeah.
And that's pretty impressive, I think. I was looking pretty hot that day. That might have been part of it.
Probably too. He's like, he's thinking, he's a good-looking guy.
I am. But it's a curse.
Because like I said, leadership's all about building a relationship. And sometimes we get so busy, we forget about that. I mean, we live in a busy world. We just do. We have a lot of things to do, a lot of things to focus in on. But building that relationship is paramount. That we've got to. I always tell people you need to carve time out every day just to not have anything on your calendar. Just spend the time with your people. However you're going to
really be there.
Yeah,
and really be there. I saw Colin Powell speak in Minneapolis a few years ago. Wow, is that guy impressive? I can see why he could lead 250,000 people into battle. Have you ever seen him speak? He's great. And what I took away, he was talking about leadership, and he said the two most important jobs of a leader. Number one, build trust. Build trust. That's number one. Number two, remove barriers. But you got to build trust first. People know that we're not going to shoot the messenger. So sometimes, based upon where you're at in your organization, you might not know what's really going on in the aisles or down there in the trenches. And we need to have people who know that we really care. And if something's not working, then let's fix it. Henry Ford said the secret to success is to fail fast. I'm not saying to give up, but if something isn't working, let's be honest about it and let's work together to do what we got to do. And that's, it's not going to work if people think, geez, I don't want to make Rob mad. Ooh, you know how he is when you bring something up, he just blows up. Well, you don't want to do that. But I think that's a choice too. So I just, Colin Powell, build trust, remove barriers. I think that's pretty powerful.
Well, I'm not going to argue with that because he was a 4-star general, so, I mean, you can't argue with that kind of experience,
Yeah, he's a pretty impressive guy.
Pretty impressive. Pretty
smart. Yeah, he gets a pretty good dime for his, he even gets more than I do from his presentations. So.
Really? He gets more than a free chicken dinner? That's great.
Yeah, he does. I think he gets a beer too. So. Go for it.
So
what else?
I liked all the things you were talking about as far as providing quality service to our people. Because like I said, leadership's all about people, looking at how we serve that. Who is the best leader you ever worked for? I mean, who's that guy that you're like, because we all have a prototype in our head of our ideal type leader, and it's how we judge all leaders that we follow. So who's that person in your head that, when you think about leader, this is the person I think about?
Cool. Can I give you two?
Yeah.
I have two. Number one is Dick Broadbeck, the guy who started Dick's Supermarkets. He is very humble, extremely demanding. And I like that. Again, we all do our best work with winners, but Dick expected a lot from us. However, he worked harder than any of us did. And you've heard that bank bag story, so I won't do that. He's the guy. Well, do you want to hear it real quick?
Share it.
Okay, well, when I told you I started working at Dick's in Dodgeville when I was 17, and I chose to go to school at the University of Wisconsin in Platteville because Platteville had the largest Dick's supermarket in the company. And Dick Broadbeck, the gentleman who started the company, his office was on the mezzanine of the Platteville store. And I'd met him in Dodgeville, but I didn't know him. And this guy just was cool. I want to know this guy. So I transferred to the big store, and I'm thrilled to be working in the big store. I'd only been there about 2 weeks, and the bookkeeper called me to her office. She said, Rob, you want to take a delivery today? I'm thinking, cool. I get to drive around town in the company station wagon. How great is that? She goes, I need you to take the delivery to Hardee's. I go, Joni, Hardee's? You can see Hardee's from the parking lot. I thought I was going to get to drive around town. She goes, well, you want to make the bank deposit too? Whoa, you're trusting me with the bank deposit for Dick's Platteville, biggest store in the company. I'm totally pumped. So I load the car up, drive down the hill to Hardee's, unload the order, get back in the car, and the bank deposit bags are gone. I'm 19 years old, and I've lost the bank deposit bags for Dick's Platteville. Want to be having a bad day? So I get out of the car, and on the roof of the car is one of the 2 bank deposit bags. Nice job, moron. I left the bank deposit on the roof of the car, and one of the bags is gone. So I take the one bag that's left over in the car. I go running up the middle of the street back to the store, and I don't find it. It's not there. Call for the store manager. We go outside. We're looking for it, and the next thing you know, out walks Dick Broadbeck, our father who art in Platteville. I mean, we're talking the big guy. I'm going, oh, my gosh, somebody told Dick's in the culvert. He's getting muddy, thinking I'm going to jail. We don't find the bank deposit bag. And finally, Dick says, come on, let's get back to work. We're not going to find it. And Rob, you take the car back to the store. John, you make what's left of the bank deposit. I'm just really bumming it. I'm in the store for a little while, and all of a sudden over the PA, the public address system, I hear Dick Broadbeck say, Rob Bell, come to the office, please. Rob Bell, to the office. Click. I think, oh, my gosh, I hope he makes it quick. So I get up in Dick's office. He says, have a seat. And I say, yes, sir. I said, Dick, I'm so sorry. I'm the biggest idiot in the world. I can't believe this happened. I'm so sorry. And Dick says to me, you're not an idiot. You made a mistake. The only people in this world who don't make mistakes are those who don't do anything. On top of it, a gentleman found the bank deposit bag, and he brought it back. Oh, my gosh, thank goodness. And then Dick says, Rob, from now on, you're in charge of making all bank deposits for Dick's of Platteville. I said, really? He says, yeah, because if there's anybody who's going to keep his eyes on the bank deposit bags, it's you. No, I never did. Isn't that cool? True story. I mean, I thought I was going to get fired, and he says, I can see you're devastated. I trust you, and I was in charge of making the bank deposits from then on, and I definitely kept my eye on it. He took this horrible situation and turned it into a loyalty and a learning opportunity, didn't he? Now, I say great leaders are cheerleaders, and Dick Broadbeck was an amazing cheerleader. The more we catch each other doing something right, the more we'll catch them doing something wrong, and Dick was always looking for the good stuff. I mean, if we weren't high standards are important. He'd let you know that too, but he'd notice the good stuff all the time. He'd always let you know. The second leader was Darlene Myers. Darlene was the store director of Dixon Lancaster, and I was her assistant for 8 years. And Darlene's 5'2", I'm 6'2", and that was back in the 70s. And people didn't think
people were shorter back then.
Yeah, people were shorter, and also women were managers. Women were not store managers. So, we'd have sales reps come in, and just because I'm taller and I'm walking around, they think I'm the store manager. I go, no, I'm not the store manager. She is. And she was short. This is back, remember the TV show Taxi?
Yeah.
I always called her Louie. I said, you're mean, you're short and you're mean. Actually, she wasn't. But she had really high standards, and she worked harder than anybody else. And people loved working with her. In fact, she and I are still good friends. She's retired now, and I still call her boss, and I mean it only out of love. Hey, boss, how you doing? She knows it's me. Hey, boss. She's just phenomenal because she cared so much. She cared about high standards. She cared about the people with whom she worked. But I'll tell you what, if you weren't going to cut it, you got cut real quick, too. She wasn't afraid. We'd hire somebody who interviewed well. And where's Stu? Oh, yeah. He wasn't cutting it. I let him go already. She wasn't afraid to let people go. But if you got somebody on your team that isn't pulling their weight, somebody on your team who's negative, they're worse than having a mad customer, aren't they? Because what is going to happen? They're going to scare away your champs, and you're left with your chumps. So we need to hold people accountable. If somebody doesn't want to be there, then don't be there.
Right.
So again, that's part of the job of a leader, to make it an enjoyable experience.
Sporty wrote on here, the best leader you'll ever work with is the leader you work with. And I think that's a very...
Would not agree more. That is, in fact, another story about Dick. We had the parcel pickup slips, and a lady wrote Dick a note on the back of her parcel pickup slip, and she said, "Dear Mr. Broadbeck, Rob Bell provides great service." And then she wrote, "I hope he's being compensated well." And she signed it, so Dick knew it wasn't my mom. Well, Dick called me up to his office, and underneath it, he wrote very small, "Rob, I'm so proud we're on the same team. Thanks, Dick." He didn't say, "I'm so proud you're on my team." He said, "I'm so proud we're on the same team." And I still have that parcel pickup slip, and it means the world to me. And that's from 1974.
Really?
Jesus, think of that. 42 years. 42 years ago. So it doesn't have to be expensive, but he took the time and he wrote it, and it means the world to me. So
do you have it framed?
I have it laminated.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's actually in my pocket. Cool. Yeah, it means, again, thank goodness I kept it.
I think that's important that we take a moment to think about the leaders that we learn a lot from, positive and negative. We learn a lot from those people that were great leaders, but we learn an equal amount for those leaders that were subpar, so to speak.
Yeah.
So,
I'm a recovering CPA, and I worked with an accounting firm, and I won't say the name of the accounting firm or where it was, but the managing partner was one of the most arrogant people I'd ever met. In fact, he didn't want to meet me. He didn't want to meet any staff accountants until you were there a year. I mean, it was weird. You go into the men's room and he wouldn't even know he wouldn't talk to you. It's like, weren't you a staff accountant once too? The arrogance was just, that's why I didn't work there very long. The guy drove me nuts. It was very rude. Come on, you're nothing special. I guess he thought he was. But,
we all get sometimes wrapped up in ourselves, and it's important to, have a good open dialogue with our people so we stay grounded.
Totally. And if you're going to be like that, your people aren't going to tell you what's going on either.
Yep.
And just like listen, what's Listening Master's name?
Sporty.
We work with Sporty. Like you said, a great point, working with. And if you're not working with the team members, and I don't even like to say your people because I don't own them. If the people you work with feel you're arrogant and you're a jerk, are they going to do anything to help us be even better? No. I don't think so. They're going to do the bare minimum. I'll do the bare minimum. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not doing anything else.
Before we call, I got a couple things I want to cover, but
okay.
You said something to me one time that I thought that was so profound and such a good idea, that sometimes you work with that person that retired and didn't know that they retired. Or how did you put it?
I said it earlier. I hate it when people quit and leave. It's worse when they quit and stay.
Exactly.
I think that's That's it.
Well, but you were like, when you're talking about, somebody at the
It was,
grocery store that really they retired 10 years ago, but they forgot to tell
it's,
anybody because they're still
yeah,
there.
yeah. It's
I just
it's
thought,
well, some people, unfortunately, they're just there because they forgot to quit. They're you know,
yeah,
and I see that. You see somebody, and when did you start? When I was 17, and they're 54, and they hate their job. They've always hated their job. They cannot wait to retire. When I get to 65, open my 401k, and I'm out of here. Well, what you and I do, Chip, I don't ever want to retire. Do you? I
no,
don't want to. It's too much fun. And hopefully we're making a positive impact on other people. And, something I like to use near the end of my programs, I'll ask them, does anybody know how many seeds are in an average apple? And the answer is between 4 and 10. More importantly, how many apples are in a seed? Think about that. You plant that seed and it germinates and that tree grows, and year after year, it's producing fruit. That's what we're here for, to plant seeds, not weeds, to make a positive impact, a positive influence on other folks. And when we can do that, there's nothing better than that. Have somebody join your team like I was when I was 17, who doesn't feel good about himself. He doesn't have the guts to look people in the eye, doesn't know how to smile. And you're treated with appreciation and respect, and you come out of your shell. Somebody joins your team and you see them blossom. That's what it's about, to make that difference for somebody.
it is. I like that. Now, if we were at a regular bar, I would probably challenge you to do something kind of crazy because we're drinking and so forth. But since we're not, I like to always wrap up with a few random questions from my overstuffed Would You Rather book.
All right. Sounds like a winner. I'm ready.
I'm going to ask you 3 random questions, and you just answer however you want.
Let's do it.
All right, Rob Bell. Would you rather have the power to switch your emotions on and off, or be able to fully comprehend written material just by sniffing the words?
Wow, that's a tough one. I got to go with the ability to turn my emotions on or off. Sometimes I got to do that. That's
all right. I would probably go with sniffing the words just because
really.
It's an easier way to read. All right.
I've never tried it. Good point.
Let's see, Rob Bell.
Is there a right or wrong answer here?
No, it's just what would you rather.
All right, cool.
Let's see. I can't even say that word. Would you rather, Rob Bell, have Gatorade saliva or Argyle irises?
Argyle irises. I got to go with the Gatorade saliva.
All right, last one.
What would you do? What would you go with?
Gatorade saliva.
All right, good.
Just because I'm good with that.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Let's see here. Would you rather, last question, Rob Bell, be able to fast forward life or rewind it?
I guess I'd rather rewind it because I don't want to fast forward. Chip, I'm 60 years old now, buddy. Let's slow this sucker down. Let's go into slow-mo. I'm savoring every day. That's my goal.
There you go. Now, if people want to find you after this, where can they find you?
You can go to my website, www.robspeaks.com. Rob Speaks, ROBSPEAKS.com.
Just like it sounds, robspeaks.com. Well, I certainly appreciate you spending the time with me today to share your huge brain. And like I said, you're one of my favorite speakers ever. I love you're funny. You make a point. I love you to death. I like spending time with you. I consider you a good. Yeah, I consider you a good friend, and I appreciate you spending the time with me today. So, friends, again, Chip Lutz, you can find me at unconventionalleader.com. Shoot me an email at chip@unconventionalleader. And a big round of applause to my buddy Rob Bell. Cheers to you. Thanks for spending time with me today, bud.
It was an honor. Thank you, Chip.
The honor was mine. All right. I will talk to you later.
See you on the silver screen.
All right, bud. Bye. Bye.
That's it.